Pole sitter Erik Jones was fastest in the final practice session for Sunday's Cup race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on NBCSN. Jones posted a top speed of 181.251 miles per hour around the 1.5-mile track. Jones, who was in the playoffs, was followed by Ryan Blaney, playoffs, 181.238 miles per hour, Alex Bowman, playoffs, 181.202, Brad Keselowski, playoffs, 181.099, and Ryan Newman, 180.777. The top 10 was completed by Kyle Busch, playoffs, Daniel Suarez, Kyle Larson, playoffs, Chase Elliott, playoffs, and Jamie McMurray. Jones had the best 10-lap average at 178.025 miles per hour. Larson and Joey Logano, playoffs, recorded the most laps in the session with 52. Click here for final practice results. Cole Custer will start first in the Xfinity Series regular season finale Saturday at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Custer qualified first for the DC Solar 300 with a speed of 179.295 miles per hour. It is his series-leading fifth pole of the year. The Stewart-Haas Racing driver is followed by Austin Cindric, 177.866 miles per hour, Elliott Sadler, 177.825, Christopher Bell, 177.708, and Ross Chastain, 177.317. With Custer and Cindric both 20, they make up the youngest front row for a Las Vegas Xfinity race. Custer earned the pole after he took the green flag with roughly 40 seconds left in the first round after narrowly making it through inspection. "That was the craziest qualifying session I've ever been a part of," Custer told NBCSN. 5 drivers, Daniel Hemrick, Ryan Preece, Brandon Jones, Ryan Truex and Matt Tifft, did not make a qualifying attempt after they failed to get through inspection in time. They will start from the rear. Jones' car failed inspection 3 times. His car chief, Joey Elliott, was ejected from the event. Tift's car failed 4 times. His car chief, Cam Strader, was ejected. Tifft will have to serve a pass-through penalty to start the race. It also will result in a 10-point penalty in driver and owner points. Both drivers will serve a 30-minute practice hold next week at Richmond. Garrett Smithley will go to a backup car after he suffered a hard wreck in Turn 4 with about 5 minutes left in the first round. He was able to exit the car. Shane Lee qualified a career-best 6th. Ryan Sieg qualified a season-best 10th. Click here for the results. The Xfinity regular season comes to an end today in the inaugural DC Solar 300 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Ryan Reed, Ross Chastain and Austin Cindric hold the final 3 playoff spots entering this race. Here is all the info for today's race. All times are Eastern. Start. Jeff Karpoff, President and CEO of DC Solar, will give the command to start engines at 5:07 p.m. The green flag is scheduled to wave at 5:16 p.m. Distance. The race is scheduled for 200 laps, 300 miles, around the 1.5-mile speedway. Stages. Stage 1 ends on lap 45. Stage 2 ends on lap 90. Pre-race schedule. Garage opens at 10:30 a.m. Driver, crew chief meeting is at 3:15 p.m. Driver introductions are at 4:30 p.m. National Anthem. Victoria Lamala will perform the anthem at 5:01 p.m. TV, radio, NBCSN will broadcast the race beginning at 5 p.m. Coverage begins with Countdown to Green at 4:30 p.m. on NBCSN. Performance Racing Network's radio broadcast begins at 4:30 p.m. and can be heard at GoBrand.com. SiriusXM NASCAR Radio will have the PRN broadcast. Forecast. Wonderground.com calls for sunny skies with a high of 100 degrees and a 0% chance of rain at the start of the race. Qualifying. Daniel Hemrick, Ryan Preece, Brandon Jones, Ryan Truex and Matt Tifft will start from the rear after failing to pass inspection in time to make a qualifying attempt. Last time, Kyle Larson won at this track in March. Christopher Bell was second and Justin Allgaier was third. Starting lineup. Click here for the starting lineup. Ryan Newman, a non-playoff driver, was fastest in the first of two Cup practice sessions Saturday morning at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Newman posted a top speed of 183.892 miles per hour around the 1.5-mile track. The Richard Childress Racing driver was followed by Ryan Blaney, playoffs, 183.268 miles per hour, Aric Almirola, playoffs, 183.194, William Byron, 183.107, and Daniel Suarez, 182.822. The top 10 was completed by Erik Jones, playoffs, 182.692, Jimmie Johnson, playoffs, 182.513, Regan Smith, 182.476, Paul Menard, 182.346, and AJ Allmendinger, 182.235. Clint Bowyer, playoffs, had the best 10-lap average at 181.010 miles per hour. Byron recorded the most laps in the session with 39. Final practice is scheduled for 3:30 to 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time on NBCSN. Click here for the practice report. Las Vegas. Frustration lingered as Denny Hamlin stepped into his motorhome after Monday's Cup race at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. His chance to snap a year-long winless streak, build momentum for the playoffs and beat three-quarters of the way to winning each of NASCAR's 4 major races, vanished when Brad Keselowski passed him for the lead coming to the white flag. As Hamlin removed his driving shoes, Taylor, his 5-year-old daughter, broke the silence. "Daddy, you did really good," she told him. "I know you didn't win, but you were up front a lot. That's really good. Children do say the darndest things, and often at the right times." Hamlin's mood lightened. His frustration seeped away. "I was like, wow, she's starting to get it," Hamlin told NBC Sports. "She's starting to be old enough to understand and get it. Yeah, I want to perform well for her more than anyone." While providing motivation, children also can be a stress relief valve for drivers, especially in the playoffs, a 10-week grind that will take competitors across the country and to the brink emotionally. One mistake can put a driver in jeopardy of being eliminated. That can weigh heavily during and between races and be mentally draining. Kevin Harvick with son Keelan after winning at Michigan in August. Photo by Getty Images. "You can really stress yourself out because I've done that before, and it makes for a long 10 weeks, said Kevin Harvick, father of 6-year-old son Keelan and 9-month-old daughter Piper. "You have to be engaged in it and a part of it, but you also have to have some separation, and I think kids and family in general help separate you from the stresses." For Harvick, it can mean taking his son to school, a sports practice or something else that can keep him away from racing during the week. Coincidence or not, 4 of the last 5 Cup champions had at least one child when they hoisted the championship trophy in Miami. 9 of the 16 playoff drivers are fathers: Hamlin, Harvick, Keselowski, Joey Logano, Aric Almirola, Kyle Busch, Clint Bowyer, Kyle Larson and Jimmie Johnson. With the influx of young drivers, this year could present an interesting case study on the value of having children in a championship chase. Clint Bowyer, father of son Cash, who turns 4 in October, and 21-month-old daughter Presley, says that kids have certainly given me new energy and new focus on racing. "It's made me want to be in it longer. A lot of people it changes that, and makes them want to start to think about retirement. Racing has been a family sport for me since I was a little kid, and I want Cash to see me for who I was and my opportunity in this sport. I want him to see me as a winner." Cash and his daddy provided one of the more memorable moments of the season when Bowyer won at Martinsville, Cash and Clint running toward each other on the front stretch after the race before embracing. Some of the most special moments, though, take place away from the track for drivers and their children. Jimmie Johnson holds daughter Lydia's hand as they walk ahead of his wife Chandra and daughter Genevieve earlier this year. Photo, Getty Images. In what has been one of his most challenging seasons, Jimmie Johnson finds motivation from 5-year-old daughter Lydia. Shortly before he left for Las Vegas this week, his youngest daughter gave him explicit instructions. "She's just on me. Daddy, win a race. Daddy, win a race. Daddy, win a race," Johnson said. Lydia had some other advice for Johnson, who is on a career-long 49-race winless streak, as he left home. "Daddy, push the gas pedal as hard as you can. The hardest you ever have and you win that race." She continued her personal pep rally for her father. "Daddy, you win that race, you do it." She has been outspoken the past few weeks, and it's helped Johnson just before the race begins. "As I climb into the car, I always thinking about my family and say a little prayer before I head off," he said. "The last handful of weeks, I just laugh because I can see her face and her intensity." "Daddy, you win that race." Follow @DustinLong and on Facebook.